So this is a part of the continuation of SCCM installation and configuration of 2103. So we have not yet enabled the Pixie role on the distribution point in our lab. So before that we are going to add the operating system image in our SCCM lab. So let's get started. So how it can be do that? Let me tell you. So currently we have only install the Windows ADK version, which is the 2004 10.1.19041.1. So this is the version of the current ADK installed. So generally this version it supports only the 20H2 and 21H1, 21H2, 22H1 and 22H2 Windows 10. Fine. So let's see how can we export and add the Windows image WIM file in our operating system image, right? So let's get started. So basically this is our SCCM server. So in this server currently we have not yet installed any Pixie role. So you can see this is our distribution point. If I right click, go to the properties. So in the PXE we have not yet enabled it, right? So before that we need to add the operating system so that it can be used when the Pixie role will be enabled so that it can be test the operating system deployment through the task sequence in our lab. Okay, so before that we need to just copy the Vim file in our source file in a network location so that it can be easily accessed. So let me check. Do we have the ISO image? Okay, I don't think so. So first of all, I have a Windows 10 ISO file that needs to be mounted here. So for the mounting the local machine, I have in the D drive in a folder ISO. So basically this is a 22S2 Windows 10 ISO. So I need to map this ISO in a our virtual machine so that it can be easily accessed. So I'm going to map on a primary server. So in the primary server, you can see in the action file settings in the DVD drive image file browse and select the 22H2 Windows 10 ISO, open and apply and OK. So as you can see on a screen in a Windows, the D drive it's showing the Windows 10 ISO has been mounted. So let's see browse this here in the source we need a install.wim. So basically this is the install.wim file which is a very large size which is around 4.82 gigs. So I need to copy this file and need to put in a network share location. So I will be put here in our source folder. I will create a folder with name of Windows 10 Vim. So I will be open it and I will paste this Vim file. So it will take some time to copy here. Okay, so install.vim file has been copied here. We will click on the software library, then click on operating system image here under the operating system. So we can right click and add the operating system image. So click on browse and click on C drive. So in the source folder in Windows 10 and select the Vim file. Okay, so it will now take from here. So we need to copy this path and needs to give it here. Control C and Control V. It's not taking, no problem. Click on browse and here Control V. Double backslash. We can provide the MACM01 slash source. Okay. So extract a specific image index from the specified WIM file. So you can see, this ISO having the Windows 10 Home, Education Edition, Professional Edition, right? We are selecting the Windows 10 Professional Edition, and then the architecture is fine. We can use it. Next, and we need to provide the name Windows 10 Professional WIM file. Version we can write here 22H2. Next, next. So now WIM file is adding in the operating system image. So it is showing successfully completed. Now close. And Windows 10 professional WIM file has been created. We need to distribute this WIM file to the distribution point. So right click and click on the distribute content. Then click on next and select the distribution point on which you want to distribute the content. So we can generally we have only the one distribution point. Then select it and click on OK. Then next, next. Are distributed successfully. Then close and just refresh. So it's come under the in progress. So we can also check the distribution content status from here. So you can click on the view status. So there is a 4 tab. So generally if you distribute any content, then first it will try to come under the in progress. Once it will be successfully distributed, then after it will move success tab. And if it's got failed, then it will move under the. So currently this is under the in progress. Take some time. Okay, this is showing under in progress. We can keep refresh and check the monitoring. And you can also find the details in the description here. So which is showing the details I will be available after server finishing the processing of this message. So under the more details it will not come. Once it will done, then after you can find as well here. Okay, so now it's successfully distributed and it moves in the success tab. It's showing the successfully distributed the content on a 1DP. So we can check under the software library in the operating system image. Yes, it's showing so with the image ID and OS version as well. And in the in the content status, it's showing the green. So we can also check the details here under the second tab, this configuration, which is blank. All right. So now we are going to create the task sequence so that we can use this image in the task sequence so that it can be deployed. In the task sequence, we will right click and create the task sequence. Create task sequence. You will find the couple of options to create the task sequence. So the first option is install an existing image package. So suppose that if you have already any WIM file added in an operating system, then that you can be used here. Otherwise, the second option, which is used for a build and capture the reference operating system image. It means you need a machine which needs to install the operating system on that machine, and all required application softwares you need to install on that machine, the security software, and required patches, right? So once everything will be done on that machine, then after you need to capture the reference operating system image. Once the machine will be prepared, so then after you need to capture the image of that machine, right, through this sysprep process. And once it will be captured, then after that image needs to deploy. So this is the option comes under the second. And third option, upgrade an operating system for an upgrade package. So suppose that if you have we have a operating system image, right? And now we have a latest image, then we can use that latest image to upgrade the package by using this method. This is the next pilot for the existing device. So suppose that, and also this is a new feature. Okay, so we can also deploy the Windows autopilot for the existing devices. So in this needs to so the deploy Windows autopilot for the existing device. This is an option for a modern desktop deployment with the Windows autopilot, which easily deploy the latest version of the Windows to the existing devices. An application used by the organizations can be automatically installed. So if Windows user data is managed with the OneDrive, or work or school data is synchronized, so user can resume working right away. And in Windows Autopilot for the existing device also allows the reimaging and provisioning a Windows device for the autopilot user driven mode using a single native configuration manager task sequence needs to create. So the existing device can be on-prem domain joined. The end result is a Windows device joined to either Microsoft Entra ID or Active Directory. So it should be under the hybrid join. So basically the JSON file for the Windows Autopilot for existing device is required. Now moving to the next feature, that is the create a new custom task sequence. If we want to create a from scratch a new task sequence according our requirement, we need to create the custom task sequence. So in the custom task sequence, we need to add there the applications, any managed applications, optional applications there, and antivirus, and so many things, so many settings configuration is required in the custom task sequence. First option, which is the so we can provide the name Windows 10 22 H2 task sequence. That is fine. Okay. So we need to select the Windows boot image 64-bit, and below is the image ID, and now click on OK. So we have selected the boot image 64-bit architecture. Then click on the next, and here provide the name of the image package. So we can select it. Then click on OK. So we have selected the first option, the partition and format the target computer before installing the operating system. And then we are not using the BitLocker option as of now. And this is the option to randomly generate the local administrator password. So which is we do not want to generate the randomly. So that's why we can provide the local admin password so that it can be set on the machine. So we have put it the machine password. Local admin password is I put it the password. Then click on next. So once the machine will be ready, then it should be joined in a domain. So in the domain, if we want, then we have to provide the domain name. So in the domain name, we can select the domain name, and under the OU, we want to put the computer under the India OU in a computer OU. So we have provided so it just converted in a distinguished name. Now we can provide the account specify the account that is permission to join the domain. So we can provide the account name. So basically I am using a CCM admin account to log in this machine. So I will be also using the same. So we can click on browse, then type again and then press the Alt C or check name. Then it's come. Then click on OK and provide the password here. Then after we can verify is it correct or not. Then we can test connection. Yes, it's showing. It's successfully verified. Then OK. Then OK. And then click on next. And this would be the package name, the configuration manager client package. That is fine. Click on next. So we are not going to use the capture user settings. So we will keep and check all the options. Then click on next. And there is your option. If we do have any available application, so currently that we can also include. So this is the software update. So they do not install any software update. Then click on next. And we don't have any currently application, so we will not use this. Otherwise, if you have any already application, so that will be listed and you can select from here. So we are just clicking on cancel and now clicking on next, then click on next. All these settings and options which we have selected on the task sequence, that will become under this summary on this page. So you can check like this access, create the name, and what options we have enabled. So those are captured in this summary. You can check from here, then click on close. So the task sequence has been created, and task sequence, this is the reference of this task sequence which included like the boot image, package, operating system image. And now we are going to deploy this task sequence. So we can right click and click on the deploy. So we need to select the all computer, all unknown collection, so that if any bare metals come does not have any operating system, that machine comes under the all unknown computers. Or even if any machine also does not have any client, then will also come under the unknown computer. Then we can click on next, and we need to deploy this task sequence in a available mode. So, and we need to keep the only media and PXE option. Then click on next. So here we can set the deployment schedule, and we can also put the expiry of the deployment. So the deployment expiry is not required. We have just scheduled because right now we are not going to use it. So that's why we can use it as a schedule. Then click on next. So the first option is showing the show task sequence progress. So it will show the task sequence progress on the screen. So we will use keep it as it is. So it can be get the task sequence progress on the screen, right? And in the second option, you can see the software installation. So when a schedule assignment time is reached, allow the following activities to be performed outside the maintenance window. So if you have created the maintenance window in your infrastructure, right? And if you want to install the application out of the maintenance window, then you have to click on a software installation. Otherwise, no need to click the software installation. And third option is system restart. If you require the restart during completion of the installation, then you should enable the system restart. Otherwise, it's not required. And third option is commit changes. So suppose that if you are using a thin client machines, embedded machine, right? So in that case, if any settings has changed, so it should be click on the commit changes so that it can be save the changes. Okay. And now the last option is the internet based client machines. So IBCM roles has been deprecated. So now the cloud management gateway, just clicking on next, then next. So we are currently having the one option, so we need to select it. And the first option and second option. So first option is used for allow the clients to use the distribution point from the never boundary group. So if you have multiple distribution point in your infrastructure, then you can use it. And also you need to use the last one, which is allow to use the distribution point from the default site boundary group, right? So suppose that if we are using the lab, this is not required, but selecting the both feature. So and clicking on the next. So this is the, and you can say the summarization of all the uh, option settings which we have enabled, disable in the deployment settings. So each and everything there, just like under the general, you can see the software name, task sequence name, the collection name, on which collection it was deployed, and how many members in this collection. This setting is disabled. Automatic distribution content dependency is disabled, right? Pre-download content is disabled. Deployment setting is we have used the install under the available mode, right? The task sequence deployment option we have taken only media and pixie, and under the scheduling, so we have scheduled it for the 30th December at 5:20 p.m. So we have not set it the any expiry, so it's showing the disabled, right? So each and every options which we have enabled or disabled, so you can get it from here. So now, and you can also, if you want, then you can also just Control A and Control C and keep it anywhere in the notepad, right? So now we are just going to click on next, and so it has been set the deployment, and now click on OK, close. So you can see the deployment under the deployment tabs of this task sequence. So you can see this is a collection name, all unknown computers. So so this task sequence is deployed on this collection. So we can also check from the asset and compliance, and click on the all unknown computer. We can also check the deployment status from the collection as well. So in the device collection, you can see all unknown computers. It's showing the two members, and under the deployment, you can see the deployment name and the task sequence name, deployment time, purpose, compliance. So everything you can check from the collection as well. So one more thing I want to share with you. We can also use here the deployment ID, right? From the deployment ID, you can check the deployment status from the internet browser as well. But as of now, we have not yet uh, installed and configured the reporting service. So that's why once we will done, then after we will show you how can we check the deployment status from the browser. And we will meet you in the next video with the Pixie installation and configuration. So till then, thank you for watching. Have a good day.